Hi and welcome back to the channel. It's true, my name is Norf, and this week we are finishing up our three-part series on the lenses that I use on my Sony a6400 aps-c camera. The previous two videos we looked at my go-to lens, which was the Sigma 16mm f1.4 contemporary lens. We then looked at my Sigma 30mm f1.4 contemporary lens, but those of you who are pretty sharp will realise Norf doesn't have a zoom lens in that setup. You'd be absolutely right, because in this week's video we're going to look at this, and this is the zoom lens that I've chosen. It is a phenomenal lens. It's the Sony 18-105mm f4 OSS G series lens. Yep, it is a bit of a mouthful, which is why in this week's video we're going to unpack that. So if you're ready, let's get started. The Sony 18-105mm is a great all-round lens, but does it have an Achilles heel? There are so many things that I love about this Sony 18-105mm f4 lens. It is a superb all-round photography and videography lens. Now, I've found that out in my experience, but please do drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this particular lens if you happen to have it. So in this video, I'm just going to unpack a few things that I love about this lens. And then right at the end, there is one small thing that I would love Sony to change in this lens. The Sony 18-105 f4 makes up part of Sony's G series lens portfolio. You could call them their entry-level series of lenses. However, for me, in my experience, there's nothing really entry-level about this lens. It's a simple yet powerful lens to have in your collection. Some say it's a big lens. I don't find that at all. It weighs in at 427 grams, or just a shade over 15 ounces. But I wouldn't let the size or weight put you off. The Sony 18-105mm f4 lens is well constructed, with the entire lens barrel being made of metal. Both the focus and zoom rings have a little bit of resistance to them, but not as much as the Sigma 16mm and 30mm f1.4 lenses. This lens, of course, does have a power zoom rocker switch to one side. One of the key features I love about this lens is that all the zooming is done inside the lens barrel. So for example, if I were using this lens with my a6400 on top of a gimbal, it means that if I want to zoom in and out, there's no weight shifting when I'm using the gimbal, thus not upsetting the gimbal and not upsetting me as cameraman. If you're just starting out your YouTube journey and you're looking to pick up a half-decent camera, for me, I would go for the Sony a6400, but of course it depends on the application that you want the camera for. You'll know that the Sony a6400 aps-c camera does not come with in-body stabilization. So if you're looking for a zoom lens that goes with that, you'll need to pick a zoom lens that has onboard stabilization. I went for this, which is the Sony 18-105. This has something called OSS, or Optical Steady Shot, built in. In terms of combination, this lens and the Sony a6400 for me are a banging combo. I really do love the range of the 18-105. 18mm, really nice and close up, all the way out to 105mm, so I've got a real nice stretch to get out to something that's a bit of a distance away. I find the Sony 18-105mm f4 a super versatile lens. And if you were to say to me, Norf, you could only pick one lens, what lens would it be? Let me give you a clue. Now, I know you're going to beat me up because I'm only using a sample of one. But I do have in mind I'm looking at a couple of other zoom lenses to compare and contrast. And of course, once I've compared and contrasted, I'll put together a video on my findings of what I think about those zoom lenses compared with this guy. If you were seriously considering picking up the Sony 18-105mm f4, of course you'll dive to your favourite online retailer, and here in the UK you can pick this up brand spanking new for £419. Now of course, one of my favourite online retailers are offering discounts on this particular lens, so by all means go and pick it up as soon as possible. I know that the discount does run out in a little bit of time, but you could well save yourself some cash by picking up this lens new. I actually picked this up previously and enjoyed, and I have to say, it's a cracking lens, it really is. So I've told you everything that I love about the Sony 18-105mm f4. And as I said, there is only one small thing that I would love Sony to improve on this lens, and that would be the f4 bit. I would love for Sony to make the aperture open up to maybe f2.8 or even f2. And I dare say you already know the reason for that. Bokeh. Broadly speaking, the closer to 1 the aperture gets, i.e. f equals 1, the more bokeh the lens will provide. It's obviously not that straightforward, of course. That, for me, would make this an awesome all-round lens. So Sony, if you're watching, what do you think? Could you hook me up? Please do let me know in the comments below what you think of the Sony 18-105mm f4, if you have experience of it, or maybe there might be another zoom lens that you might recommend me to try out to compare and contrast. Of course, you know what to do. Please do let me know in the comments below. And that's it for this week. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time here. As you know, I'm a big fan of the number 3, so if you would, please do 3 things for me. If you like the content, please do give me a thumbs up. Also remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on when I upload brand new content to the channel. Again, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time here, and I'll see you next time.